Okay, let's jump on in and take a look at why you might want to use Anchor Pen in your project. So here I just obviously have a standard text layer. You can see that the anchor point is up here in the upper right hand corner. And if I come down to scale and scale this, it works just as we would expect. The problem is when we go to change the font size, it does not respect the anchor point. So typically that's not a huge problem in a project, but if you create a MOGRT, then once you give access to the user to change the font, it could change the layout, could change the behavior that you are expecting or the user is expecting. So that's why I created Anchor Pen. So down here, I have the anchor point in the upper right-hand corner. You can see the preset is set to the right top. And you can still use scale down here as always, but now when we come up here and change the font size respects the anchor point. So that makes it really nice. So if you're going to share this with people and you want to make sure that it's always pinned to the right-hand corner, or not just the right-hand corner, any of the major locations here, then Anchor Pen is a good tool to do that. Now, one drawback about it being a preset and not a script is that if you change the location of the anchor point, your layer will change position. So perhaps this will be turned into a script down the road. We will see. Let's take a look at another way that you could use Anchor Pen within your project. So here I have a layer animated, and as you can see down here in the timeline, it's using the scale. We're just doing a little overshoot. And if I want to come in here and change the size of this, I'd have to come in here and manipulate these keyframes. And maybe if I have my curve set up just the way that I want it, and I don't want to adjust these keyframes, now, since I have Anchor Pen applied, I can just come in here, adjust the font size, come down here and do a RAM preview, and now that animation is still intact and is able to scale my text layer. Okay, so that makes it pretty nice to be able to make adjustment to layers that have scale animated. Another use that I found for Anchor Pen on a project that I used recently is with shape layers. So with my rectangle here, let's find the size properties. And it's always frustrating that I have my Anchor Pen up here in the upper left-hand corner, and if I go to change the size of this, it always scales from the center, and that can be really frustrating. So here's another comp with that same rectangle, but I have Anchor Pen applied. So let's go ahead and look for the size again. And so now with Anchor Pen, putting it in the upper left, I can go ahead and scale this, and we can unlink these, and it makes it really nice that now it will respect that anchor point, and it makes it a lot more predictable and a little bit easier to use within a project. So it'll work with all shape layers and text layers. Hopefully this helps you out in your project. Let me know if you find any other uses for it. I'd love to see what you're working on. Thanks.